Okay, starting with the 2012 A-level question number 2, subsection 1. Explain the law of demand. Why does the demand curve slope downward? Yes, what is the law of demand? Can you give me a proper definition? I'll copy and paste someone's definition. What is the law of demand, guys? The law of demand says that there is what? Says that there is a negative relationship between price and quantity demanded, while all other factors affecting demand are held constant at a given point of time. That is a complete definition. So what do you say? Law of demand is the negative relationship between price and QD. Don't stop there. That's point number 1. So that you say, while all other factors affecting demand are held constant, but that you again add at a given point of time. That's a proper definition or explanation of what the law of demand is. So as a result of this, what happens? As a result of this negative relationship, the demand curve slopes downwards from left to right. If you want, draw a small demand curve and show, no harm. Then what are the reasons for this now? When they ask why does the demand curve slope downwards, you can't say because of law of demand. You need to say why is there a law of demand? What are the reasons behind the law of demand? Right? Right. Okay, that is the answer. Law of demand says that there's inverse relation between price and demanded at a given time. Right. So I'll copy the first correct answer that came on the chat box. Okay. So what does the law of demand state? Says that there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded, while other factors affecting demand are held constant at a given, you can say, given point of time. Right. There's another one. When I do papers with you, it's easy, but I feel like a genius. Exam, you don't score. So probably it's the writing that you have the issue with, guys. So you're understanding it, but you can't put it into writing. So probably in the fast track and all, we'll be doing writing, right? But make sure that you work on that. We'll have a chat maybe after class if you want to talk. Okay. So what are the reasons behind this, guys? So why does the demand curve slope downward? Right? Because of 1, the substitution effect, and number 2, the income effect. So you need to write a little bit about the substitution and income effect. They're giving you 4 marks now, guys. So most likely, now remember I told you when answering essay questions, in your mind you have to think, how do you think they broke down this answer, guys? Okay, we'll see how many of you all can figure that out. Okay, now in the A-level paper, they don't give you the marking scheme, no? So how do you think, guys, they would have given marks for this? Think and tell me how much they. So they are asking 2 sub questions. Explain the law of demand is 1. Why does the demand curve slope downwards is another one. Okay, how do you think they would have given you marks? Maybe 2 for this, right? Maybe 2 for this, maybe 2 for this. How else can they give you marks? Maybe, right, they gave 1 for just talking about law of demand. Maybe they gave 3 for the reasons. You don't know, right? Who knows? At the exam, you don't. You haven't seen the marking scheme. Now you might look at the A-level paper marking in your past paper book and tell me, right? But we don't know. Or else they could have even given the other way. They could have given 3 marks for this, and they could have just given 1 mark for you to just say substitution and income effect. Who knows? So in a situation like this, what did I teach you? How do you write? For law of demand, think they are giving the highest possible mark. So you explain this for 3 marks, right? So you write everything, inverse relationship, other factors are constant, given point of time. That's all that you can write, guys. So think that they are giving 3 marks for this, then write. Yeah, always think that they are giving the higher mark. Then you write more. And then why does the demand curve slope downward? Now you don't know. Are they giving 1 or 2 or 3? Usually maybe 2, right? But we'll think, they are giving 3 marks. So for 3 marks, then how can you write? You can first state, maybe you will get half a mark for stating substitution effect, half a mark for stating income effect, 1 mark for the explanation. So small 2 or 3 line explanation is enough. You don't have to write pages and pages, right? And a small 2 or 3 line explanation, you get another 1 mark and 1 mark. So that has to run in the back of your head, guys. So before answering any question, take around 5 to 10 seconds to figure out, this is how they are going to give marks, because based on that, we'll write, guys. Otherwise, you all lose marks because these are easy questions. And these are not questions that you all don't know. These are questions that you know, but you're not scoring the 4 marks is because either you're not writing enough, you're not using the keywords, right? There is something wrong there. So always have that strategy. I did explain this when we were doing unit number 1. Okay. So substitution effect, income effect, guys, I'm not going to type an answer, but what is the substitution effect? The substitution effect tells us when the price of a good changes, that is when it increases or decreases, the relative price of the good changes. As a result, what happens? Consumers would either switch to the cheaper substitute, or consumers who are switching the substitute would come back to purchase your good. Depends on whether the price increase or decrease. That is the substitution effect. You need to highlight that the relative price of the good is changing. All other factors, including price of substitute and everything, remains constant. Yes, in the income effect, can you all tell me, does the income of the consumer change? Yes or no? Relative price means price of the good compared to another good. That's what relative price. Yes, relative price is your price of your good. What do you think, guys? Income effect, does the income change? Yes or no? Does the consumer's income change? Does the consumer's income, in other words, income means nominal income, money income, does that change? Answer is no, it does not change. What changes, guys? In the income effect, when the price of the good changes, what is changing? The real income is changing. What is another name for real income? Another name is purchasing power. This is what is changing. Is the consumer's salary or his nominal income changing? Right? Remember the what? The nominal income, right? Another name for nominal income is what? Another name for nominal income is money income. Or another easy way for remember is his salary. Are these changing? This is not changing, right? So in the income effect, when you all write, you have to be very careful and say, look here, when the price of the good changes, the consumer's real income, or in other words, his purchasing power changes. As a result of this, he would buy more or buy less. That is the income effect. When we go into another question, guys, I'll explain income and substitution effect in detail, but just have that in mind for now. Okay. Without writing definition of substitution effect, can we write an example? Probably definition and example. Just the example alone might not make 100% sense. Okay. You can back up your definition with the example, but not just the example. Okay. Guys, can you all figure this out fine? Yes. Can you all write an answer for what is substitution effect, what is income effect? At least after this class, go through your tutes, right, and come up with a nice answer. Spend some time. Step. Okay. So these are very basics. I'm telling you. Okay. I'll move to the next. So once again, law of demand. You explain what it is. Why does the demand curve slope downward? You can say substitution and income effect. For 1 mark, explain what is substitution effect. For 1 mark, explain what is income effect. No, drawing a diagram is not necessary, guys. If you want to, make your answer just nice, you can draw one. They won't give you marks for a diagram. They have not told you to draw a diagram. They're not going to give you marks for that. Okay. Right. Moving to question 2. Okay, guys, I think I have labeled these questions wrong, right? But this is 2012 question number 2. There is a whole calculation. Suppose the following equation describe the demand and supply functions of a commodity. Solve the equations and determine equilibrium, price, and quantity. Guys, come on. It will be a disgrace if I do this for you. Can you QD equals QS? So 50 minus 5P equals minus 10 plus 5P. Can you all give me the answers? I'm not going to solve this for you. Right, utter disgrace if I'm solving this for someone who is doing A levels in 6 months who don't know how to find equilibrium, price, and quantity. What's the equilibrium price? What's the quantity? Quickly, so on this I can see how many people actually did the paper also. What's the price? The price is 6 rupees. Okay, all of you are giving me the same number. What's the equilibrium quantity, guys? Quantity is 20 or 30. Some of you are telling me 20, some of you are telling me 30. 20? Okay. 20. Yes. Okay, that's the answer there. Okay. Calculate the price elasticity of demand, because I'm hoping this is fine, right? I don't have to explain how to find equilibrium, price, and quantity. Okay. Calculate the PED at the equilibrium price. Remember, what can you do then? PED equals change in QD over change in P. So instead of saying change in QD over change in P, we did this in past papers also. You can say minus B. That is the this thing, right? Multiplied by price over QD. We did this in paper 1. So can you give me the numbers, guys? How much is minus B in my example? QD equals 50 minus 5P. So what is my minus B? My minus B is this minus 5. This is my minus B. So then what do? I say minus 5. And what do I put for price and QD? For price and QD, I put the equilibrium price and the equilibrium quantity. Equilibrium price is 6. Equilibrium quantity is 20. So when you solve this, guys, can you tell me what do we get? Minus 1.5. Okay, so if I ask you guys, is this elastic or inelastic? If I ask you to interpret this product, is it a good with elastic demand or inelastic demand? What do you think? 1.5. PED is anyway minus as long as it's a normal or an inferior good. What can I say, guys? Elastic or inelastic? Don't get caught with the minus thing. 0, perfectly inelastic. 0 to 1, inelastic. 1 is unitary. Greater than 1 is elastic. So this one is greater than 1, meaning it is what, guys? It's a elastic demand, right? The good has an elastic demand. Right. If I go a little bit further, can you give me one reason why do you think the demand for this good is elastic? Based on the determinants, think and tell me. Why do you think? What do you think had caused the demand for this product to be highly elastic? That means when the price changes, QD changes a lot, right? It soon changes. Why? One reason. Okay. Maybe the good is a luxury good, correct? What else? Maybe there are so many close substitutes. Okay, correct. Maybe the good is a what? Maybe the good has a lot of users, right? It has so many alternative users, correct? Maybe the consumer spends a higher portion of his income for this good, right? You know, those kind of things you should be able to practically connect and write, because in your year they might not give the same question, they might go a little bit more in advance. Okay, going to the next. Yes, less addictive, fine. You can say it's a luxury, not like a necessity. Okay, right. Suppose now the government introduces a guaranteed price of 8 per unit for the producers in this market. What would be the total cost of this price support scheme to the government? Problems. We'll draw and see, right? Equilibrium price is 6, quantity was 20. So always, guys, when you get a question like this, now what is happening? There is a good, the equilibrium price is 6 and quantity is 20. What is the government doing? They also can't just pay it. They're also coming and troubling you all. They are putting a guaranteed price of 8. So when the government puts a guaranteed price of 8, what happens now? We'll learn. Always, guys, I will recommend draw a diagram, guys. Don't even sometimes I also can't do this without a diagram. Okay, it's always recommended. Draw a nice, small, rough diagram. So equilibrium price was 6. Quantity was how much? Price was 6. Quantity was 20. Now, what did this government come and do? Gota and the government, they came and put a minimum price. How much did they put? A minimum price of 8 rupees. And now they are asking, when the government introduces a guaranteed price of 8 for the producers in the market, what could be the total cost of this price support? Guys, what do you think they are doing here, guys? I would have taught this in the theory class. Are they purchasing the excess supply, or are they providing a deficiency payment? Now, under price support only you have price support purchasing of excess supply, and under that only you have deficiency payment. What do you think? Now, here they are not saying. They are not saying is it a deficiency payment or is the government purchasing the excess supply? What have I told you all to assume? If they just say price support scheme, then 2 things government can do against. One is they can provide deficiency payment. Another thing is they can purchase the excess supply. Which one are they doing? How do you figure that out? Which one? Because if you can't figure that out, you can't do the question. What are they doing? Remember, guys, in your A-level paper, if they just tell you without any further thing, if they just say government is importing a price support scheme, what does that mean? That means they are purchasing the excess supply. Okay, so if the exam paper just says price support, if they say price support deficiency payment, then that is that. If they say price support purchasing of excess supply, then that is that. But if they just say price support, always remember it's price support. Remember, how does it break down, guys? So under price support only, you have two types, right? One is price support, you purchase the excess. Okay, you purchase the excess supply, or under price support, you can give what? You can give a deficiency payment. Yeah, deficiency payment. So in this question, if they ask you just price support, that's what they have told you, here. In this question, they have just said price support, and they're asking you cost to the government. So how do you know which one? Option 1 or option 2? Always remember, if they say just price support, it's always option number 1 over here. They purchase the excess supply. Right. Now, to figure out the excess supply, guys, can you give me some help now? Can you tell me at the price of 8, what is the demand for this good? Right? What is the supply of this good? The demand and supply equations are this. The demand is 50 minus 5p, supply is minus 10 plus 5p. Okay. So at price 8, QD equals 50 minus 5p. How much is the QD? QD equals 50 minus 5 into 8 is 40. QD is 10. How much is the QS then? QS is minus 10 plus 5p. Yeah. QS is minus 10 plus 5p. So then QS is equal to, how can I decide what approach was taken by the government? That's what I told, guys. So if the question has not told you which approach they have taken, you can assume that it's a price support excess supply. They purchase the excess supply. Don't daydream, right? So if they have directly told you, then you take whatever approach. If they have not told you, it's always a price. They purchase the excess supply. Okay, right. So minus 10 plus 5 into 8. How much is that? 5 into 8 is 40. This is 30. Okay. So then can you tell me, guys, how can we label our diagram now? At price 8, the demand is 10 units. At price 8, the supply is 30 units. So at what is happening now in the market here, guys, at this price of 8, suppliers are willing to supply 30, but consumers are willing to buy only 10 units. So how much of an excess supply is there in this market? How much is the excess supply here? Excess supply in this market is 30 minus 10, that is 20 units. So how much do you think government's expenditure is, guys? Cost for the government. They have to buy 20 units. What is the price that they have guaranteed? They have guaranteed a price of 8. So 20 rupees into 8, what's the government's expenditure, guys? Government's expenditure becomes this area, right? This area that I'm shading in blue, no? This one over here. So how much is that? That is per unit, there is 20 excess supply. Per unit, they have guaranteed a price of 8. So 20 into 8, the total cost to the government is how much, guys? Total cost to the government is how much? 8 rupees into 20 units, that is 100. Is that okay? That's your final answer. And guys, did you all understand that part? Step. Okay. Same question. If I give you, and if I tell you the government provided a deficiency payment, how much is the cost to the government? How many of you all can know? How many of you all know how to find? If the same question says government has now provided deficiency payment, how much is the cost to the government? Right? So that is something that I will let you all do for homework. There is another deficiency payment question which you all can do, but I'll tell you all. The area of the deficiency payment, the cost of the government will be this, no? This, and this will be the area of the deficiency payment in case it was a deficiency payment. So you need to find what this price is, right? So then this one into 30, you can find the deficiency payment. So for homework, right, take some time and think. Instead of this question, instead of asking price support and purchasing the excess supply. What if they ask you for a deficiency payment? Yeah, that is homework. There is another deficiency payment calculation somewhere down the papers. I'll then teach you how to do it. But for now, you can do this for homework. Okay. Going to the next, last one. Estimate the value of consumer surplus and produce surplus under the guaranteed price. Okay. Yes, in this diagram, which area is consumer surplus, which area is produce surplus? Hard to show because I don't have letters. So I'll show you all the areas. Consumer surplus is this area that I am highlighting in orange. This is consumer surplus. Why? Because the consumer is paying 8 rupees and buying only 10 units. So this area here is consumer surplus. Consumer pays 8 rupees, buys 10 units. Which area is produce surplus? I'll show that with blue. Okay. The producer is selling 30 units, 10 units to the consumers, balance 20 the government is buying from them. So they're selling 30 units at the price of 8. So which area is producer surplus? This entire blue area here, right? This entire blue area, sorry, right? This entire blue area becomes producer surplus. Okay. So to find these areas, what do you need? You need two information, two parts. You need the maximum demand price and you need the minimum supply price. Can you all give me that? How much is the maximum demand price and how much is the minimum supply price in my question? How do I find this case? What is the price when QD equals 0? What is the price when QS equals 0? That's what I have to find. Maximum demand price, guys. Now this we have done so many amount of times. How much is the maximum demand price? That is the price when QD equals 0. So take the demand equation. QD equals 50 minus 5P. So for P you put 0 and you find, right? Sorry, not for P. For QD you put 0 and you find the P. So how much do you get? Price equals 10. Good, right? Now I'm not going to show you all these guys because these are basics which we have done. So maximum demand price sorted. Okay. Then based on this, can you give me the consumer surplus, guys? Consumer surplus is how much? Half into, now you remember you have to have a rough diagram, right? Then you don't have to write equations or anything. If you have a rough diagram like this, examiner knows, this is what is taking. So half into, what's the height? Height is 10 minus 8, right? That is 2. What is the base? The base is 10. So half into 2 into 10, 20, that is 10. Right. Consumer surplus is 10. Done. Then the producer surplus. So for producer surplus, what do we need? We need this one, right? What do we need? We need this over here. Okay, this minimum supply price. Can you all tell me what is the price there? The minimum supply price. Minimum supply price. That is the price when QS equals 0. So you take the QS equation, put 0 to QS, and you find. Right? When the price is 0, how much is the QS? What is the price case? How much you all get? 2 P equals 2. You all are saying I'm going with that. Right. So then this one becomes 2 over here. Okay. This is 2. Okay. So then how much is, if you calculate P, is it okay if you calculate PSS? Yes, without the equation is fine as long as you have drawn a diagram. Some diagram like this has to be there. Then it's okay. You don't have to say maximum demand price minus guaranteed price into the quantity consumer purchases. Not needed like that. As long as you have a diagram. But if no diagram, you have to give the equation. But I'll always recommend have a diagram, guys. Just the equation makes it very confusing sometimes. Okay. So how much is the this one? So PS is equal to how much? PS is equal to half into, what's the height? 8 minus 2, that's the height. What is the base? Base is 30, no? So how much is that as a number? 18 minus 2 is 6. 6 into 30, 180. Half of 180 is 90. Okay, fine. Is everyone okay with that? If you can do a question like this, you are somewhat at a good level. You can be a little proud of yourself, not very proud. There are more harder questions, but you can be chutta proud of yourself that you know how to calculate a deficiency payment question. Step. Okay. So this is this one. This one I'll highlight it in another color. This is the consumer surplus. This is consumer surplus. This is producer surplus. Okay, done. Any questions, guys? Is everyone okay with that? This is the 2012 A-level question number 2. Fine. Okay, so done, and done. Right. So 11 is done. 12 is also done. Okay. So you all want a small break before we go to 13? 19 out of 20. Good. Right. So you all can put your marks and see, guys, how much you all get. I'm guessing you all would have done pretty well. Okay. So we'll take a small break and then come back for the 2013 question. I think anything above 15 is kind of a good mark. Okay. So we'll take a break till now it's 5:02. We'll take a break till around 5:10 and come back. We'll go through 2013. We'll see if we can finish until around 15 today. I think 14 has 2 questions though, right? Break till 5:10. No, you don't have to draw 2 diagrams. On the same diagram in your working, you can show that. No problem at all in the previous one. Okay, right. So take a break till 5:10 and come back. I'll see you all at 5:10 for 2013.